Hello, 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 everybody. How are y'all doing? Welcome to Scary Movie Squad. It is October 9th, 2020. This is the 51st. That's right, 5-1 Watchalong. The PJ Campbell Network has done since the start of quarantine and COVID back in March. I am Maxwell Haddad. I'm going to be taking the reins this evening. We have some wonderful people with us tonight. Down below me is graphics extraordinaire and scream queen himself, Christopher Clark. How are you, Chris?
I'm doing phenomenal, Max. I've never actually seen Poltergeist. I'm going into this blind once again. I'm not going to add too much commentary. I'm just going to enjoy watching a movie with my friends and experiencing this classic for the first time. It's going to be fun. So it's
That's
a classic.
awesome.
It's going to go.
You're in for a treat because it's an incredible film. I think we also have Tim Franco, the fact machine. He always has amazing facts about these films. How are you, Tim?
I'm good. How's everyone doing tonight? Ready to dive into this horror classic? Spooky. Let's do it.
It is. And PJ, I know you said you're a little off. How you feeling? You okay, bud?
Yeah, I'll be all right. I'm just one of those days, you know what I mean, man? But I'm happy to be here. This is one of my favorite spooky movies of all time. I think not only is it just like a great movie, but it's one of the best horror films for a reason. There's a reason that it's still talked about to this day as one of the scariest films of all time. So I'm excited.
Yeah, obviously we'll get into it as we watch it, but I think what I particularly love about the movie is it, and I can't remember who I said this to the other day, but it's sort of the perfect blend of what Tobe Hooper did so well, because it is truly frightening at times, but it also has that incredible earnestness and heart and family drama that defines a lot of Spielberg's work, especially in the late 70s and 80s. I mean, this goes like hand in hand. I think it makes a great double feature with Close Encounters or E.T. This film reminds me of those very much. He produced it. He was on set a lot. His trademark is all over it, while also, allowing Toby to do what he does best. We have some really fun and exciting stuff coming up the next couple days and weeks. Let's talk about that. So we teased this a bit on Twitter, and if you're a Patreon in the Discord, which, by the way, you should sign up for the Patreon if you haven't already. And let's take this opportunity to shout out our incredible Patreon producers, our gold tier associate producer, Brandy Parker, our ruby tier producers, Brandon Buckingham, Kale the Youth Critic, Stephen White, Ferris Mudana, Michael K., and Bador. I know some of you guys are in the chat. Hello, how are you? We love you. Thank you for supporting us. We have 5 different tiers on Patreon. There may be one that's right for you. You can get access to us in our private Patreon Discord. We have box bloopers called Bloop Bloop. You get to vote on upcoming content, and there'll be more on that soon when I hand things over to Chris Clark to talk about some stuff. There's just, it's a lot of fun, and the support has been overwhelming, so thank you. But as I was saying, we tease this a little bit. Sunday night, we are doing a brand new show called The Sunday Evening Unwind, the show about whatever. It'll be our normal time, 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern, and I wish I could tell you what we're going to be talking about, but as it says, it's a show about whatever. So we're just going to hang out. We're going to chat. We'll probably talk some horror films. Who knows? But join us. It's the whole goal is, all of our shows are really focused, and we wanted to have one that was just relaxed, casual, a place to chill out, hang out, connect with people, and we'll see what happens. I think some of us here will be on it. I think Sean Sullivan may be joining us, maybe Kristen Smith. We'll see. And down the line, maybe we'll have guests too. But join us Sunday to hang out and decompress from another stressful week. And I saw someone say they're looking forward to the next episode of Box. It is true. The rumors are true. We have made another episode of Box. And if everything goes according to plan, we will have that for you in the next week.
Yeah, it will probably be. I'm almost done it, so I'm just waiting for their notes, and it'll be good to go.
Yeah, I think somehow it's even sillier than the first one. PJ's not on it, thank God, because he almost ruined the first one.
Mystery guest.
We have a mystery guest. Yeah, so Monday we are doing Beetlejuice. I am incredibly excited for this. I love this film. I think it's one of Tim Burton's best. I think it's endured incredibly well over the last 30 years. I think Winona Ryder and Christina Ricci give each other a run for their money as to who is the best creepy kid actress of the early 90s. And then instead of our normal Friday night Scary Movie Squad for next week, because there is a Schmodown pay-per-view event, the team's championship where Shazam will be squaring off against corruption. I know who I'm rooting for. I'm not going to say it here, but let's just say Zachary Levi would appreciate my choice. Wow. Silent.
Nicely done. Nicely done.
Nicely
Good
done.
joke.
And that is going to be a double feature of The Conjuring and The Conjuring 2. If Chris Clark is going to be on these, I think the level of screams could rival Host, because these movies are very scary and well constructed in their building of suspense and their jump scares. I think
I've never seen it.
the first Conjuring in particular has some really, I mean, I like both of them, but that first one with the hands clapping and stuff has some really terrific jump scares.
Yeah.
James Wan, I think, is a master of his craft, and it's not ever on better display, at least horror-wise, than in The Conjuring. We also have a ton of Suddenly soundtracks stuff.
Yeah.
So, Chris, what's going on?
So, if you guys saw Suddenly Soundtracks last night, we had some technical difficulties. So, the Shock Treatment episode with Bibbs, Drew, and Mark is going to be put up, but it's going to be put up on October 21st, which is 2 weeks from now. But fret not, because actually I'm announcing right here and right now, the night after, on October 22nd, Thursday, our Gold Tier producer, Brandy Parker, requested Cabaret. And so it's going to be me, Max, Liz for the first time on Suddenly Soundtracks, and Whitney Seibold. They're going to be joining me for Cabaret, which is going to be exciting. And this upcoming week, this Wednesday, I'm going to be joined by the ladies, Jen Kemp and Jillian from Schmodown Point of View to talk Tangled. So we have like a nice, easy animated Disney film to talk about in between everything, so it's just going to be a nice palate cleanser as well.
Yeah,
so
and let me just say, when I saw that Brandy picked Cabaret, I was truly enthused, because if you watched the PJ Campbell show we did, I think that was the last episode we did, where we talked about our favorite movies of all time, Cabaret is in my top 10 of all time. And I know we're not supposed to talk about the movie, we're supposed to talk about the soundtrack, but the songs are incredible. I'm a massive, massive fan. And I am so excited to be joined by my wife to talk about Cabaret. Yeah. That's going to be really exciting.
And Brandy also said in all the places, this is the first watch along on Twitch. So thank you guys for watching on Twitch if you're watching on Twitch. So that's cool.
I think that about does it for announcements. Does anyone have anything else they want to talk about before we get started?
Whoops.
No?
Well,
no,
good.
I'm good.
So if this is your first time joining us for a watch along, welcome. If you've joined us before, welcome. Here's what's going to happen. Poltergeist, by the way, is on Netflix. If you didn't know where to grab it, I'm going to count down from 5. I'm going to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And on go, we're all going to press play and start watching Poltergeist together. Is everyone ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. Metro Goldwyn Mayer.
Yeah. One of the most iconic openings of any movie that you'll ever see in your life.
I love when I see it.
I was listening to the score earlier before we got on, because I just loved the score so much.
Yeah, I was nominated for an Oscar. Jerry Goldsmith.
Yeah,
Yes,
Jerry
sir.
Goldsmith was one of the great composers.
Yep, he's actually my favorite composer.
What's your favorite score of his?
Probably Rudy.
That's a good one.
I mean, it's
freaking
one of the
love
all-time
Rudy.
greats,
and then,
man.
I am really partial, as Pat knows, I'm very partial to the Burbs soundtrack that he did. Is really good and kind of underrated.
Mine's probably either the Burbs, this, or The Shadow, because I think his Shadow score is one of the all-time greats.
I really love his score for LA Confidential.
Oh, yeah, that one's great, too.
And Hoosiers also.
Gremlins. Ooh, that's a good one, too.
Yeah, he did so much.
Yeah. We talk about John Williams a lot, but I think that Jerry Goldsmith gets overlooked a ton in that.
He definitely gets
department.
overlooked for sure.
I agree. And he has tons and tons of Oscar nominations. Tons.
Yep.
I would have loved to see him do a modern superhero score, but I'm really glad that we at least have The Shadow to know what him doing superhero.
Oh, hey,
movies
PJ.
is.
Nice shirt you got there.
Oh, hey, man. Thanks. I got this on Cavity Colors.
Oh, me too. What's up?
I love
like
that.
that
This
they
is like
sort
the
of-
second time we've twinned, by the way.
Introduce the static television early on because it becomes a big motif.
I remember those days when I would watch TV as a kid, and like I would stay up so late or like fall asleep watching TV, and the TV there would be nothing on at one point. Does that even happen anymore? I feel like that probably doesn't happen anymore. Like,
No, I don't think it does at all anymore.
maybe on some like public access shows or something, or maybe
it happens on the MSG channels, which are like the Madison Square Garden channels that play like Knicks basketball and Rangers hockey here in New York, and the Islanders and the Nets at like 2 a.m. Sometimes it'll just have a logo that says like, "There's nothing on."
Real quick, I want to say, don't let your dog get a hold of a potato chip bag. That's very dangerous.
Yes, it is.
I always cut my bags up, even though I put them in my locked trash can. I always cut them up.
Don't let your dog get a hold of anything spicy either, especially not a spicy chip.
Yep.
That'd be bad.
Here's Carol Ann.
I've always thought that this was one of like the all-time great child performances. And
it doesn't get mentioned all that much, honestly.
No.
She was great in like all the movies that she was able to be in. Unfortunately, her life was cut short, as many people know, and
very short.
But it would have been interesting to see like where her career would have gone.
Yeah, she passed away when she was just 12 years old.
Mm-hmm. Which during the filming of Poltergeist 3. Because they had to use a double to finish the filming.
Yeah.
Awful.
That's one of the most Spielbergian shots ever. His famous, zoom in face shots.
Yeah, what's interesting about this movie, like you kind of mentioned, is like, had it been able to be like a pure Spielberg movie, we would have got like more of a sci-fi like sequel to Close Encounters, which is what he originally had ideated for the movie. Mm-hmm. It was like, I think, called Night Skies. And then Hooper obviously brings in more of the horror elements. He wanted more of a horror feel to it. And he's the one that pitched it as a ghost story, which changed the story around a little bit.
Here we have the great Craig T. Nelson.
University of Arizona alumni.
Yeah, one of my favorite sitcom actors of all time as well.
Wings. Coach. Oh, Coach. My bad. That's right, because they were talking about doing a redo of Coach, and it never happened.
He's also in Monk, and he's a very important figure in Monk. But I'm not going to say who he is because it is a massive spoiler.
I know him well because I watched every episode of Parenthood.
Hurt my eyes.
And some of our viewers probably know him as the voice of one Mr. Incredible.
Yep.
Correct.
Brandy Coach. Yeah, that's what's
I'm sorry. I don't know why I thought it was Wings. That was my fault.
That's Thomas Hayden Church, I believe, is.
Yes, there it is.
Wings. And as well as Tony Shalhoub, who was just aforementioned Mr. Monk.
Indeed. Yep. Chris is enjoying the music.
Yeah.
I don't think he can hear us.
The music's great.
No, is he
doing the mute thing?
He's doing the mute thing. Yeah.
That's good.
I can't wait to see his reactions to it.
I hope he's behind us a little bit so we can see the reactions. We can be ready for him.
If we can ever convince him to go to a haunt with us or like Halloween Horror Nights, he has to go first. Yeah, you're not really supposed to, but he has to go first.
Yeah.
If you guys get like a media
hey, we might be able to.
Credentials you can film because like Late to the Party, they filmed their entire thing when they were there and stuff.
Yeah, we might be able to with the channel actually.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
And of course, Tobe Hooper directed
Texas
Chainsaw Massacre. So this was his first like big budget Hollywood movie.
I love this movie has such like the typical like suburban Spielberg feel.
Yeah, I mean it's such a perfect Amblin film.
It is. It's a great Amblin film. Any movie that has people riding bikes in the suburbs.
Mm-hmm.
This is like next to E.T. It might be the most quintessential of the Amblin entertainment films to me because it really does focus on the Americana type feel of everyday America.
It's just about a nuclear family and stuff.
Yeah, Super 8 obviously was another.
I was going to say Super 8. I know not everyone loves it. I personally love it, but
I like it a lot.
Mike said, I'll be honest, I think I've taken Goldsmith for granted. A lot of people do, man. Like we were saying, he doesn't get talked about a ton.
I mean, Star Trek,
Yeah, Star Trek. Whew.
good stuff. Football.
Look at those Star Wars sheets.
Love it.
Oh yeah, dude, the Mulan score is fantastic, Mike.
It is. It's always so funny when movies or television has other pop culture in it that like the Star Wars sheets for the poster.
Yeah.
Another one I think he did. I'm just confirming that I actually really liked a lot. The movie's like horrible, but I actually like the movie a lot as well. It's bad, but I love it. I think he did. Didn't he do Congo, or was that someone else?
No, I think he did do Congo. Also, his score for the first Mummy is friggin' fantastic. This is one of my favorite moments in the movie, and it also is just like such a, again, suburban Americana type moment, especially in the 80s as the rising
remote battle
and stuff. Yeah, and the remote battle. Oh, it's just so good. Obviously, this is not a problem anymore, but everyone's remotes being so in tune, just so good. It's just such a great back and forth.
It's pretty funny. The range on those things.
I know.
I remember remotes like that too. It's just like
Me
the little clicker, like one thing that just kind of rocks back and forth. The click.
Yeah.
Oh, poor Tweety.
There he goes. Swirly. Just kidding.
That tree looks like the Whomping Willow.
It's a creepy tree.
Yeah.
The Whomping Willow and Prisoner of Azkaban.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Is that the one? Because they changed the look of it, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. You're thinking of the right one.
It's crazy that this came out a week apart from E.T.
I know. And they were basically in production at the exact same time, and Spielberg would go between sets just to check on it from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the only reason that's the only reason he didn't direct it is because there was a clause that said he couldn't do it because he was doing ET already.
It's such a beautiful shot right there over the suburbs, and so it just
The clouds coming in.
yeah.
That's the same storm that's rolling in at the end of Terminator. It's the same universe.
I like where your head's at, Tim.
Via la tormenta. Storm's coming.
What a beautiful doggo.
Yeah.
Eating a big old piece of celery.
My favorite snack.
I do like celery.
Yeah. Little peanut butter on it. The dog.
Digging away. Oh yeah, the dog's name E-Buzz. I love that.
Can I get a cool?
E-Buzz.
This movie scarred a generation of children with clowns, and then he would do it like a decade later on television.
Mm-hmm.
2 years, well, I guess 3 years ago. No, 2 years ago. They had a Poltergeist house at Halloween Horror Nights in Universal Orlando. That was my favorite, or not maybe not my favorite. It was in my top that year, but it was the scariest, I thought.
That walkthrough video that we watched of it was effing cool.
Yeah, it was really incredible.
Yeah, I saw some walkthroughs for it. It was pretty cool.
It was also the first one we did that year when we went. And I sort of feel like, other than, unless you end up going to one of the lesser ones, whichever one you go to first is the scariest because your eyes are still adjusting and your heart rate is at its highest. You sort of get used to the jump scares.
Yeah. Except that friggin' Graveyard Kids one that was...
Well, that was one of the scariest things I've ever experienced in my life. Graveyard Kids last year.
Yeah, oh my
They had
God.
a pitch black room where little ghost kids would come up and whisper in your ear, and it was truly haunting.
Yeah.
That was an incredible achievement.
That was one of the coolest houses I've ever been in my life.
Mm-hmm. I think almost everyone universally agreed it was the best last year, although the Universal's Monsters house was pretty incredible, too.
Yeah.
That was more for the showmanship and set design.
We almost caught pneumonia, though, because of that Graveyard Kids one.
I love the alien poster in the room.
Mm-hmm.
So much Star Wars stuff. I feel like George Lucas probably just dropped it off at the set one day.
He was like, "Oh, you need set dressings? Here you go."
He's like, here's some Star Wars toys. You can put them in the movie.
Well, I mean, you get all that merchandising.
Spencer Tracy,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
one of my favorites.
Spencer Tracy was one of the greatest actors of all time.
Yes, he was.
Mm-hmm.
He was also a homosexual.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a shame that at that time they weren't able to live their truths because of Hollywood.
Yeah. Can I just say that if I ever become a parent, I want to be Craig T. Nelson in this, where he's literally sitting on the bed rolling a joint.
Yeah, which sounds good to me.
Yeah. I want to be this cool.
And of course, this movie came out before PG-13 existed, so it's rated PG, but it's definitely a PG-13 movie.
Yeah.
It was originally supposed to be rated R, but Spielberg and Hooper fought for it not to be, and they won, obviously.
Yeah.
And then just 2 years later, it would be because of Spielberg that PG-13 was made.
Yep. Thanks to two movies, that one he produced again and one he directed, being Temple of Doom and Gremlins.
Yeah.
And do you guys know what the very first PG-13 film of all time is?
Not sure. I thought it was Temple of Doom, but obviously not.
Red Dawn.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, I knew that. I just forgot. Yeah,
Red Dawn was the first official PG-13 film of all time. Oh, Sean Sullivan's here. What's going on, Sean? We miss you. You could be on stream right now, watching Chris.
I have no idea what he's talking about. Does anyone else know what he's talking about?
No, I have no idea.
Parents just toking it up late at night.
That's what I want, man. I want to be Craig T. Nelson as a parent. Look how cool he is. That's like just peak dad.
Funny. Music.
So good.
Chris is settling in. He's like, this isn't so bad.
Yeah, I feel bad for Chris because he thinks
the calm
it's
before the
fine.
storm.
Like he's a little ahead of us. To
He is a lot of us. That's funny. As we were talking about it, oh my god, it's so funny.
He's scared, startled me.
Look at him.
Just wait till the clown starts.
I know, right? It's only getting worse from here, Chris. And by worse, I mean better. I got this guy in my shirt. Hey, Chris, look at my shirt.
Look at Ferris right now. Oh, so good.
Chewbacca. They're so high.
I mean, who does like clowns?
No one likes clowns.
I'm all wet.
Did he spill water on himself? He just got him all wet.
I'm all wet.
Chris Mark.
He couldn't have said that at a weirder time, though.
Could have been talking about many things.
But especially with that scene when he said it, it was Chris. God damn it! You're a comedy gold without knowing it.
Did anyone check out the Bachelor match today? That was the thing
It exists.
that happened.
I watched it for about 2 seconds, and then I was like, I should probably work.
Got to shout out Abby though for being able to write all those questions and stuff. It takes a truly remarkable person to watch all through The Bachelor and then write questions about it.
Yeah.
The old tree.
This movie has some of the best set design and like best background effects work and stuff going on. Like just outside the window, the storm and stuff just looks cool.
The Poltergeist house, I believe, is in Pasadena, California.
That it is.
The people do not like visitors, so don't go. Don't be obvious if you go visit and looking for scenes, looking for locations.
Yeah.
The Michael Myers house, though, the people are very friendly, and
Yep.
they love it.
Also, I can't recommend enough if you have Shudder, the Cursed Films TV series, that season 1 that's on there right now, the Poltergeist episode is a must watch.
I couldn't imagine buying like a famous movie house if
No.
you weren't going to be okay with people coming by.
I could be wrong, but I think the person who lives in the Poltergeist house has been there since even before the film was made. I think maybe.
Oh,
They,
it's,
I think
I
that's
watched-
what they said.
I watched. There's this guy that does like horror movie locations on YouTube, and he did one on that specifically, and he talked to the neighbor when he was doing it.
I thought
I
that was
think-
in Cursed Films.
It is in well, yeah, it is in Chris Films. That's the
Yeah.
YouTuber though, because then
Yeah.
he has a separate episode where he talks about it as well.
Oh,
Yeah, that's his name is Sean something, but he does all kinds of like horror movie locations. It's great. It's a great channel.
I'm sorry, PJ.
what?
The Yankees.
Did
Oh, did they lose?
Yeah, I'm really sorry. And I'm not joking. I'm sorry.
Are they out of the series or no?
Yeah.
That was game 5.
Yo! What the fucking...
The lightning in the trees.
Really?
Oh, man.
Wow.
Where did he go?
I like that
Chris
I
was
was trying to
laughing
give
that
you
way
like
to this tree. He
a
definitely
genuine
was
moment of sympathy over the Yankees, and then Tim is like, woohoo!
I'm very upset.
I'm a
God
Red
damn
Sox
it.
fan. I don't like the Yankees.
I don't like them either, but I know PJ does. So
Man, god damn it. They were winning too.
It doesn't matter if any of my friends like a team.
good to know.
No playoffs.
I don't hate
for
any
us.
of your teams though, Max. Unless you like the Giants. I don't like the Giants. I know you don't really care about football, so.
I don't.
Although the Giants, I don't care right now because they are really bad right now.
They're always bad.
Well, they had Eli Manning for those couple years, and that's why.
Yeah.
I don't like
I really don't know, Brandy. I'm curious too. The overall arching American theme in this is so interesting to me. Like, there's so much there's so much political subtext.
He was reading that Reagan book.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, the opening theme of the movie, like everything. It's just so interesting to me that this very big 80s wave of Americana and like patriotism, nationalism type stuff is happening in the film.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, Mike. I don't know how to get a hold of him. Basically, right now, guys, since Chris is a little ahead of us, it's almost like you're in a haunted house at Horror Nights, and the person at the front of the group screams before you get to the scare. That feels like an apt description.
Also, going off what Chris Clark gets scared at, there's a very good chance you wouldn't get scared at whatever he's getting scared at.
That's true.
That's true.
So far, anyways.
This whole thing has become one of the most iconic film moments of all time.
Yep.
And I'll always love it. How did Chris not jump and scream at the hand coming out of the television?
Didn't get him.
Oh, probably because he put it in the video. He knew it was coming.
Mm.
This is some great animation, by the way, for 1982.
This is in the title sequence.
Yes, it is, Chris. It's very
What do you
good.
say? What do you say?
This is the title.
Sequence.
Oh.
He's very proud of himself.
Here comes the line.
Iconic.
Iconic.
Oh,
Poor Tweety.
They're here.
I love that because California is such a known earthquake-bound state, the way they play this up that, the spirits coming shake the house and they're convinced it was an earthquake that people slept through.
it makes sense.
Yeah. I just think it's such a brilliant underlining thing.
Is that Gene Shalit on the TV?
I think it was.
Film critic. He used to come up with the cheesiest descriptions. He'd be like, "Earthquake, what a shocker."
Yeah.
I want waffles.
Yeah, dude, that sounds good right now.
Who are you guys? 11?
Maybe. I can't wait for Stranger Things 4.
Give me some Egos.
I
I
don't
promise
know.
I'm not going to hurt anyone to get them.
No idea when that's going to happen. I could see it being 2 years between seasons.
Well, I think they said that its production's gearing back up right now.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it'll be about a year and a half.
I guess it depends if they've themed it to a holiday like the last 2 seasons.
Oh, wait, we're already over a year, though, because it was July. For whatever
Yeah.
reason, I had it in my mind that it was later in the year.
No,
It
it's
could
already-
be. Yeah. It could be 2 years by the time we get it.
Which
also
also
is a
glass
good thing.
exploding didn't scare Chris either.
I know. I'm actually a little sad. This might be one of my favorite tweets of all time, and anyone in California will understand. Or if you follow anyone in California when an earthquake happens,
Oh, yeah.
they're literally all talking about it.
Was that an earthquake? Was that an earthquake? Was that an earthquake? Did you feel that? That woke me up.
Yeah.
There's Sonny from that's Sonny from Predator, right there. Sonny Lantrum or whatever his name is.
Mm-hmm.
He played Billy in Predator.
Yep.
The Native American tracker guy. I think that's him, isn't it?
I like that the mom was just like happy with what she did.
Yeah, Mike, I should have taken a screenshot of all of it too. It was real interesting because every time it was also right after RBG died, so everyone was talking about how it was her like making noise and rattling from heaven. This is Dipper barking at literally anything, which is nothing.
Yep, that's Galfrey.
Whoa, what's happening, Jake?
Hey,
Good
Jake.
to see you, man.
What's up, Jake?
And Chris is not ignoring you. He just is not paying attention to the chat. He is locked into the movie.
He just took a very deep breath.
Yeah, I think he's getting nervous again. I think he knows something's
This
coming.
asshole.
Right? Oh, hey, we didn't mention, guys, don't forget, we do have a Streamlabs account, so if you want to donate a few shekels, I put that in the chat. Helps us keep the lights on.
That's a neat trick.
That is.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
This score. I can't get over how good the score is. It's so beautiful. It's so fitting for this film. That's a great practical effect, by the way. It's truly actually unnerving. And again, what I find also interesting, that transition's it's a curious one because it shows that these suburbs, like, they really just like copy and paste the houses. They're all, so many of them are the same.
Oh, yeah. They build a model and then they just replicate it.
Yeah, and just like it plays into this overall like American whatever that is about this movie, and like the little bits of digging at politics and like Americana in a way, especially right then and now, is very cool to me. I mean, I don't see why not, Mike. I could definitely see where there's an inspiration on of this franchise on Paranormal Activity. Chris is getting uncomfortable again.
It's true. If this sort of stuff was happening in my house, I'd be like, when are we moving? Let's go, 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 go.
No, they're like excited about it. She's like, look, this is fun. It's like a game.
That's so good. So clever. Her yawning.
She's like, I've seen this before.
His face. Craig T. Nelson does not get enough love for how good he is when he pops up in things. What movie was it that he played Tom Cruise's football coach?
Was it Necessary Roughness? I don't remember.
Yeah, I think that's the one. It's one of his early films.
The kid just starts eating his food.
No, it's all the right moves.
All the right moves. Yeah,
All the right moves.
that's the one.
It is.
Necessary Roughness is with Scott Bakula. So I was trying to figure out what it was.
Yeah, different movie. Yep.
Yeah. Thank you, Maxwell. I really could not remember for the life of me. Leah Thompson, I believe, is the other lead in that film. Does he just have a giant plate of beans? Yes, he
I think it's probably supposed to be chili, but it's like who puts chili on a plate for one thing?
Well, this dude.
Gotta eat chili in a bowl with some sour cream and shredded cheese on top.
Sour cream, shredded cheese, some green onions.
Maybe a little sriracha. Although I think I'm off spicy things through a little bit. I had a carrot dish earlier that had jalapenos on it, and I just pushed those to the side. I was like, let's take a break.
If it was 2 years later, you could call the Ghostbusters, but right now you're out of luck.
Yep. Who are you going to call? I really don't know.
You guys wonder if this is one of those movies that they might do like a legacy sequel to one day where it would be like the grown-up version of Carol Ann?
I wouldn't be against that because the remake is just quite bad.
Yeah. So I wonder if they'd ever think about revisiting it. But I mean, I know that obviously all the talk of like the curse around it and stuff might make it hard. But I wouldn't be against them doing a legacy sequel to this with the new
I wouldn't
version.
be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised, even though I like the whole series. I wouldn't be surprised if they did a legacy sequel if they retconned 2 and 3 and did it as a sequel to this one.
I could see something like that pretty easily.
Because 2 changes the story a lot in terms of like what's causing the haunting.
Right.
I would ignore the sequels.
Yeah, I pull
God.
out Halloween. Who would I cast in the role of Carol Ann now?
Florence Pugh.
That's good.
Too young. Because well, no, I guess maybe she'd be about the right age.
It
Because
depends on when you want to like set it, I guess.
Right.
Like how much of a legacy do you want to like make it? How many years do you want to have it? Do you want
Like,
it to be truly be like 30 or 40 years after, or
Right. Because if not, I mean, I guess you could always do one that's almost 10 years later. You could still have her in her like the 90s.
I guess if you were gonna recast Craig T. Nelson and Jo Beth Williams, since they're both alive, Florence Pugh wouldn't work as the daughter because they're much older than her.
Right.
Hmm.
Now I'm thinking about it because, like, I wouldn't want to do it if you didn't have Craig T. Nelson or, like, or if the character is, poor Chris. This is his first time watching it, and it's just amazing watching it happen in real time. You know who would be good? Just because I love her so much. I never know how to say her last name, but from Carla Gugino.
Gugino?
I was thinking her too, but she might be too old.
Yeah, but she'd be such a perfect Joanne. Or Carol Ann, I mean. Because we know she could do it. A very different note could be like Kate Hudson. Maybe Kristen Bell.
It depends what type, if you want to aim high, you could go like Naomi Watts.
Oh, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Sienna Miller could also do a good job.
Ooh, Brandy makes a good call. Clark Wolf.
Yeah.
Yeah, not wrong. Like, legitimately not wrong. Look at Chris right now, guys. He looks so confused and horrified. Oh, that's a good one.
The scene in 2 that got me a lot too is when the braces attack him.
Yeah.
When the braces attack him.
How old were you when you first saw this film? I was 5 or 6. I was probably about that age because I remember watching this around the time I saw Gremlins, and I must have been that young.
I probably 10 or 11.
Because I watched a lot of the Amblin stuff back then. I mean, I still obviously do, but I grew up on a lot of the Amblin films, so I would get a lot of them at any given moment and like watch them all the way through. Back to the Future, this, Gremlins, E.T. They all spoke to me.
Amblin did so many interesting movies.
They really did.
They did an American Tail.
Mm-hmm.
They did Martin Scorsese's Cape Fear.
Yep. They also were behind The Mask of Zorro. Chris, how about you turn on your lights? Ferris says.
And they did. They do the haunting shows.
Oh yeah.
As well as the current Roswell, New Mexico.
I didn't realize they did the new Roswell, New Mexico. I knew they did the haunting ones because I noticed that in my watch through. I hadn't noticed that, and I was like, "Oh, that's awesome." I have been too, Brandy. I used to rent horror films and stuff all the time, whether my parents liked it or not, from Hollywood Video.
Yeah, I've been into horror since I was very young, so it's always been a part of my life.
Oh, it should be in there.
The Trilogy of Terror got me very, very young, and I kind of never went back after. Like, that's still that I've brought it up on other watch-alongs. That little fucking doll still haunts me to this day.
I've said what haunts me the most to this day.
Yeah,
On this channel.
Yes, you have.
And I have a T-shirt with him on it.
Yes, you do.
And I don't know why he's so scary.
Something about what you remember from when it happened when you were a kid, you know?
I had to leave the bathroom lights on for 6-7 years after that.
What was it? I don't remember.
Zeke the plumber from Salute Your Shorts.
Oh, right. I love Salute Your Shorts. So good.
I do too. That guy just scared the hell out of me. Probably because I wasn't expecting something scary in that show.
Right. Do you remember when they did the Boy Meets World episode that was a takeoff of Scream?
Oh, I watch that all the time. And they even got Jennifer Love Hewitt in it.
Yeah. Oh, it was so good. Brandy says that she wrote her own Freddy script when she was 7.
Wow.
That's awesome.
These are like the paranormal investigators in Insidious.
Yeah, 100%. Insidious is a pretty good series overall, man. I really like all those movies, and I like how it's like a circular series.
I don't think I've seen the latter two.
How many are there? Is there 4 or 3?
There's 4.
I haven't seen any of the sequels. I've only seen the first one. But
I like
the
the
first one.
first one's quite good.
Yeah.
Second one's really good too. The second one is cool because it was the first time I saw a horror film go Back to the Future Part 2 on itself. If you've seen Back to the Future 2, you'll kind of know what I'm talking about. But the way I always thought that was really cool and really interesting.
Then came Happy Death Day to You.
Yeah. I thought that the third one was okay. It's the weakest of the 4, and I actually thought that the Last Key was a really nice wrap up. Yeah, Insidious is friggin' terrifying. Chapter 3. See, I dug it too. It's not my favorite, but I really do enjoy it. I recommend going back and watching them, Brandy. I really like them, especially those first 2, because James Wan is just so good at what he does.
I just rewatched Sinister like last week. That movie's still pretty good, I think.
Which movie?
Sinister.
Scott Derrickson.
Sinister is very scary.
I haven't seen the sequel, so I'm gonna watch it because it's on Netflix. So I've never
So,
seen the sequel.
not the best.
But I
Yeah,
like the first one a lot. I remember seeing that one. I was in Las Vegas and I saw it.
I love this shot, by the way. I've always thought this was just like such a eerie, spooky, cool. I love the sound design that they use. I think the effects work is really quite good for the 80s. I dig it so much.
She's all.
Is that a horse?
Interesting. That's fair. I can see it. I mean, I like this trilogy overall a lot, actually. I know it's not popular to say, but I actually really like the third one. I know, and I would really suggest watching Poltergeist 2 before you watch Halloween Resurrection, but that's just me. Halloween Resurrections is one of the few movies I like actively hate with all of my being.
Poltergeist 2 is on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Halloween Resurrection is on my shit list.
Halloween Resurrection is in the bottom of my Halloween movies. It's not the bottom, but it's It's third from the bottom.
Interesting.
I don't like the Rob Zombie films at all. So
Oh, I don't even consider those.
So yeah. So if I was talking
Sure.
original
Yeah.
run, it's bottom. But
I agree. Yeah, I would. Put
I hate the Rob Zombie movies more than I hate that movie. So
I don't. Yeah.
and I like Rob Zombie movies. So
I like the director's cut of H2 more than I like any of the other stuff that he did. I still think it's a mess, but I think at least it's ambitious and feels like a Rob Zombie movie. I'm not huge on the remake itself, though.
I'm just glad that someone got a hold of it and is doing good Halloween movies now.
Me too. I know you can't go against the poll, Brandy. It's all right.
Zombies Halloween 2, a masterpiece. Well, might want to check your friends, Mike. Just kidding.
I see that a lot.
I don't disagree, Jake, because there's always like one movie I love, and I'm like, watch that. And then the worst movie on the poll gets voted, and I'm like, who is voting?
I kept voting for Creepshow too. I think finally it won.
Me too. Yeah, you and I, because every time she posted it, I would say Creepshow 2, and I'd put a GIF from one of the segments.
Don't watch Creepshow 3 though. Like,
Yeah.
you don't need to watch that. Just watch the TV show if you want to watch more Creepshow.
Yeah, Creepshow 3 is awful. Like, genuinely made by people who just wanted to cash in on the name.
I don't think it was just direct to video, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
It's not good.
Kind of like the sequel to House on Haunted Hill. It was also direct to video. And similarly, was not good.
You remember who plays the creepy doctor in House on Haunted Hill?
Yeah, it's Reanimator. Why am I blanking on his name?
Jeffrey Combs.
Thank you. Frighteners. Yeah. Jeffrey Combs.
He's also in that movie that came out a couple years ago, Would You Rather?
Oh, yeah.
He's really the only reason I watched that movie, because he was in it.
Yeah. I'll watch just about anything he pops up in, good or bad. I mean, Jeffrey Combs was a big part of my life. I love Reanimator. That was one of the very early Lovecraftian things that I had ever experienced outside of Evil Dead. This always creeped me out. And I think the sound design of her voice coming through is just so perfect and so eerie. And it just works.
Stay away from the light.
I really like the remake and the original. Both are good to me.
Yeah.
Similarly, like 13 Ghost also. I like both versions.
Jackpot.
This also feels so eerily interesting that we're doing Conjuring next week, because there's a little bit of Conjuring vibes to this too, you know? People coming into your house, trying to help the family.
Oh, I think The Conjuring is definitely inspired by this.
Yeah, both it and Insidious. I think that this movie had a huge effect on James Wan in very different ways. The score again right here is just so perfect. I just want to shout out Stephen White, our producer, who actually just sent us $5 over on Streamlabs. No comment, just sent us $5 because he's a good guy, and we appreciate your support, Stephen. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Stephen.
Sir, thank you.
Mike said, I hate using this term, but do you think James Wan could ever be the next Steven Spielberg? I've actually said that on more than one occasion. I think he very much is, although I think he's the first and only James Wan at the same time. But I think that they have very similar well-meaning ways that they make their films. Everything they make feels very human in a way that I don't think a lot of filmmakers do. And I just think it's awesome.
My father was a lighthouse keeper.
He's the next Martin Scorsese. Anyone knows that reference?
Brandy, I'm agreeing with you right now. Far less screams from Chris than I expected. Great faces, no screams. Yeah, after the lightning thing, he's already calmed down a lot. I'm a little sad about that.
I feel like there'll be some screams in the third act. So,
yeah, or fourth act, however you want to look at it.
Oh, that was a Friends reference.
Yep.
It took me a minute.
Yeah, when Joey's like,
yeah, Joey.
Yeah,
he's the next Scorsese. There's another guy that's the next Scorsese, but he's the next one. I think it's Scorsese they're talking about.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
These guys are like, I don't want to be here anymore.
This is beyond my pay grade. This is fucked. Bye-bye.
Steven says Chris is actually watching Adam's Family Values. He's a few days behind. That was good. That was good. Matt understood your reference also, Tim. So good. Yeah, right? This does feel very much like an Insidious style type scene. I think there's a lot of similarities, again, to their work. And I think that that's what's so cool is I think that the filmmakers who really get Spielberg the best are the ones who understand his movies always feel and still feel to this day very human. And I think when you emulate that in the right way, that's very Amblin-like. And I think that a lot of even the Conjuring films to a degree feel a little bit Amblin to me. So, take that for what you will. Is James Wan the greatest horror filmmaker of his generation? At least on a mainstream scale.
It's hard to say right now. He's not my favorite right now, honestly.
That's fair.
I'm very into Ari Aster and Robert Eggers. They have far less to look at right now, but I think they both made masterpieces.
Sure.
So,
The Lighthouse is incredible.
yeah.
And I loved Midsummer. Sorry, Jake, if you're still here.
Yeah, Midsummer is great. Midsummer, Hereditary, Lighthouse, The Witch, they're all...
Flanagan's a great choice, too.
Flanagan's also very good. James Wan is way up on my list, though, for current, horror filmmakers.
Yeah. I think David F. Sandberg's a really good one too. Lights Out legit terrifies me.
Lights Out is very good. Oh. Oz Perkins has done some really interesting stuff too.
Right. He did Gretel and Hansel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Black Coat's Daughter is really good.
Yep. And you know, he's the son of Anthony Perkins.
Yep. And he was in Legally Blonde.
Yes, he was.
And a bunch of other stuff, but yeah.
Would Jordan Peele count as a horror director? Absolutely, he would. He's up there too.
For sure.
I'd also throw up there these two guys that I always talk about, but Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead are incredible. They're like two of my favorite directors working right now.
And I thought that the guys who did Ready or Not really came out strong with that film, and I'm excited to see what they're going to do with Scream, because I think if they land it correctly, they could be in the conversation as well, because that's going to take a very delicate balance to make that movie work. You know, not everyone can be...
Yeah, Radio Silence is great. They did their segment on the very first VHS movie is really good too.
Yeah.
They did the Haunted House episode.
Yeah, that was one of the best ones, and maybe all of the short films of that series.
It's my favorite one on the first one for sure.
Yeah. I think the second one is it the second one that has that UFO one with the dog. That's the most upsetting for me.
The most upsetting for me is the like cult one in like Malaysia.
Oh,
that was directed by Gareth Evans, I think it was, or the Raid guys.
I think that one, that one's the creepiest and maybe the best one. That alien one legitimately upsets me because of what happens at the end, though. Steven says it's been a year and I'm still trying to completely digest Midsommar.
I agree, Mike. I think it was so hypnotic. The visuals and the score were fantastic. It was really sort of about feeling it.
Yeah,
it's
I've seen it twice. I'm going to watch it again actually here pretty soon, probably. But it's amazing. Love it.
Yeah.
It's a lot, though.
Not wrong.
Pat, you haven't seen it.
I know.
Have you seen the director's cut, Tim?
I haven't seen it yet, though. No, not the director's cut. Sorry, Pat. I didn't mean to throw you under the bus.
No, you're good. I was just, and then it was perfect.
I only know just because I'm like, I want to know what your reaction is to it when you finally do watch it. I'm like, I'm anticipating it. So,
Hey, PJ, have you watched Fast Color yet?
Fast Color is really good too.
Mike, they made two sequels.
Superhero movie.
Two sequels that I think are very good and good.
Yeah, definitely.
In that,
I like the second one a lot. I said this is the better film, obviously, but the second one, I mentioned this when before we actually streamed, but when I was a kid, I watched the second one more, and the second one scared me more as a little kid.
No, Gretel and Hansel is not with Jeremy Renner. That would be Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters, which I believe Brian brought up just before.
With Matt Damon too, right? Is Matt Damon in that?
No, you're thinking of the Brothers Grimm.
Oh yeah.
That would be what is her name?
Yeah,
she was in
Olga Kurylenko? No.
Is that no?
Maybe?
I don't remember who's in it. I haven't seen it.
I can't remember.
Emma Arterton
Yeah.
and Peter Stormare.
I love a Peter Stormare show up.
Yeah, me too. And I think Famke Jensen's the villain in it.
Correct. Ooh, gross.
Oh, that's such a great effect.
Well, I'm not going to eat chicken anytime soon now again.
Yeah, well, it's
At least on the phone.
The maggot stuff just gets to me.
Here we go. Great scene right here.
Yeah, I keep forgetting.
Chris is great.
Oh yeah, poor Chris. Oh, that's awesome, man. I love Apocalypse Now. I think the final cut is like remarkable. Very, very remarkable. This is very Tobe Hooper right here.
Oh yeah.
Like this practical effect work and makeup is
Remember,
incredible.
kids, this film is rated PG.
This is definitely the scene they were like, "Are you sure we can't make this movie rated R?"
Yeah, that's 100% the scene that they were trying to be pushed over on. Did Chris pause?
I was saying, is he behind us now?
I think he's behind us now. He must be. Yep, I think he must be about 2 seconds or a second behind us now. Good job, Chris. John Wick 2 was the best Peter Stormare. It's up there.
I haven't seen John Wick 2 or 3, so I can't speak on that. But I do like Peter Stormare's show, like appearances in like Armageddon,
Minority Report.
Minority Report.
Killed the man with a pencil.
He's really good.
Pencil.
Yeah.
He's good in Bad Boys 2.
Yes, he's real good in Bad Boys 2. He's good in everything he popped up in. Fargo. Is it Fargo?
Mm-hmm.
He's in 8mm too, isn't he? With Nick Cage.
I believe he is in 8mm.
He's like the guy that like makes the film.
Yeah.
He's like the porn producer or whatever.
What? He's in. What did I watch him in recently?
He's the devil in. Isn't he the devil in Constantine?
He is, and he's fantastic.
That's probably my favorite, actually.
Ferris says Chris is going to vomit.
This part's great. This is probably my favorite sequence in the whole movie.
This is the most Spielberg sequence of the movie.
Oh,
interestingly enough, the fact that the two sequences that are very director heavy are back to back is very interesting to me.
He was in an episode of Psych.
Oh yeah.
He's actually Swedish too, isn't he? He plays like Russian a lot, but I think he's Swedish.
Reefism. I love Joyride. I actually just rewatched that a week or two ago. And if you guys did not know, Joyride is written by J.J. Abrams.
Yes, it is.
Candy Cane.
Candy Cane.
Andy Kane.
Rusty Nail.
Yep.
And Ted Levine's voice in that.
Great.
Yeah, Ted Levine is the voice of the trucker.
The late great Paul Walker.
Yep.
And Steve Zahn, right?
Yeah, Steve Zahn.
Great film. Oh, this shot, man. Again, the effects work in this movie is really fantastic. And I love their faces, just like the full awe of what they're
That's a
seeing.
classic Spielberg face shot right there.
It is. All of them are.
This ghost scene actually reminds me a lot of. It's very much like in Raiders when all the like spirits come out of the ark.
Yep. Absolutely.
It's a lot like that.
The ghost looks very similar too.
Yeah, I almost expect the ghost to like look at him and then turn like all menacing like it does in Raiders.
Yeah. I think that's why I've always been so creeped out by this scene, because it gives me that vibe, and I'm kind of waiting for that moment. Because obviously Raiders is so etched in my memory and, you know, been so important to my life that the two definitely feel very similar. Look at Chris right now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's just so creepy. I love it. And again, the score, like Jerry Goldsmith's entire score just really works here and really elevates the sequence. Really gives it a nice air and mood. Tim, we need to do a watch along of the Burbs eventually. Maxwell, would you concur?
Sure.
Do you not like the Burbs?
Sure. I should have concurred.
That's fine. You don't have to watch if you don't like The Burbs.
I like The Money Pit.
Okay. The Burbs has had a profound effect on my life. I love that movie.
It's fine.
It's one of my earliest Tom Hanks memories.
Eva, this is so sad.
That's very John Wick-like. Put the dog in the cab and make sure it's taken to someplace safe.
Call me.
Call me, beat me if you want to reach me. Oh.
I can see that. Brandy, you've never seen The Burbs? It's so good.
I could see Tom being a Las Klopek.
Yep. Maxwell, when's the last time you watched The Burbs? I'm curious.
25 years ago?
I wonder if you'd like it more if you revisited it.
Maybe.
I just think that movie has such a great sense of humor, and it's also dark and creepy.
Joe Dante?
Yeah, it is.
I do like him a lot.
I think it's super. Yeah, I love that movie so much. I know it very, 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 very well.
Citizen's Arrest.
And this is this guy. I forgot the actor's name, but he was in Return of the Living Dead as the guy that works at the medical supply place that starts the whole zombie outbreak.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. I think that's a great Bruce Dern introduction. Actually, his performance is.
That was
fantastic.
probably my first Bruce Dern movie too, because I was a kid when I saw it. So
It seems like the only place that has it right now is Stars.
Interesting. Yeah, Brandy says make it a watch along. I mean, I might eventually. I really love that movie. I won't make Maxwell do it. I feel bad. That's one of my favorite Shout Factory releases. I thought The Burbs had an excellent release by
you
them.
could see if Late to the Party would join you. I know Robert is a diehard Burbs fan, so
I didn't know there was such a thing as a diehard Burbs fan.
Mm.
Be like being a
am.
diehard Yankees fan. Who would do such a thing?
Oh, so I'm 2-0 against you right now.
Sorry, my shoulders are giving me real trouble tonight.
I understand. I'm sorry, my friend. Make it a blarg. Poor Mike.
I'll be right back.
Okay, go for it, my friend. I love watching Chris. His reactions are just
what's
the best.
happening? You're fine.
He doesn't know that, though. He's never seen it.
There we go.
Yeah. Come on, baby. Get him. Get him. Get him. Nothing?
Didn't get him. Unless he's like that far behind, but I don't think he is.
Maybe. No, I don't think he is either. There's a lot less screaming coming out of Chris than I'm expecting tonight. Oh,
What?
he must be much farther behind us than I
Yeah, he
expected.
must have paused or something.
Yeah. Maybe when he screamed that first time, he paused it and then came back.
He did get up.
Yeah. I love watching him just be so scared. I can't wait to watch The Conjuring with him, dude. I think it's going to be legendary.
Here comes some good matte scenery. I feel like, isn't it?
Yep.
With the cemetery in the background.
Yep. You know what's funny? When I drive around our area and I see those mountains sometimes, they kind of look like matte paintings. It makes me appreciate matte paintings all the more. This whole thing is so interesting. Yeah, that's such a beautiful, beautiful matte painting.
Hello, I'm back. I got an ice pack. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Welcome
You're
back. I don't think Mike is wrong. I think The Conjuring may have the most Clark screams.
It's going to be hard to top the host, but if anything can do it, it's The Conjuring.
Yeah.
Hi, Chris. How you doing, bud? He looks so disheveled. My God.
I know.
Not Chris, Craig T.
No, I knew what you meant.
Do we call him Craig T?
Call him
What
Coach.
happened to our names on the bottom here?
Oh, I got it. Oh, that's weird. What happened? Huh. Oh, there we go.
I got it. I'm PJT Nelson tonight, see?
It's very important that people know that I'm Pool Skeleton number 2.
Yeah.
It's also very important that everyone knows that the 8788 in Chris Clark's name mean nothing.
Mean nothing.
Those numbers mean nothing. Suburban LA, it really does look like that, by the way. I think that that's such a just perfect look of it all. There she is.
Zelda Rubinstein,
Angina.
in this film in particular, is one of the great screen presences of all time, in my opinion. She is so unique, so singular, so talented.
Caroline.
I also love her in Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon.
Yeah, she's fantastic.
If you haven't seen it, is one of my favorite horror movies. It's also something of a mockumentary / spoof, and I think it is incredibly clever. I think Scream, Leslie Vernon, and Cabin in the Woods make an amazing trilogy of postmodern horror films that deconstruct the genre with intelligence and wit.
Yep.
And the other thing about that movie is that lead guy, Nathan Basil, has not done like anything, and I thought he's incredible in that movie.
Yeah.
He was on one TV show called Journeyman that got canceled, and he just hasn't done anything.
No. And they never got to make a sequel to that movie either, which was a bummer.
They did I don't know if it was Kickstarter or
It was like that or or whatever it was.
and it didn't raise enough money. Oh, thank you, Kale. I really appreciate it. It was a bit of a bold choice for me, but I'm happy with how it turned out. But yeah, this is right. I'm here. It's my movie now. Yes, Zelda just commands the movie.
Yeah. What a great line. This house has many hearts.
Cue the song 2 of Hearts.
Yeah, right.
Tangina, not Angina.
She's so good. That was so good.
So good. I don't know where she. I mean, God, where do they find Zelda? She's just incredible.
Yeah. This script is actually incredibly brilliant. You know, I was talking about it earlier, just the way that they form their scenes, like with the earthquake stuff and even the little nods to what it was looking at this like very specific time in politics in America and Americana and stuff. I just think it's so brilliantly written, and her character is fantastic.
She was in 16 Candles after this, right?
Yeah.
She did a decent amount of stuff. Teen Witch,
Mhm.
Yeah, Teen Witch is great.
National Lampoon's Last Resort. She's in Southland Tales.
Oh, that's right. She is in Southland Tales.
I like that movie, actually.
That's code for you're going to see some shit.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Like, buckle your seatbelt, baby.
In the words of Winston Zeddemore, you'll see shit that turn you white.
Uh-huh. Chris is very thoughtful. Oh, by the way, while you were gone, we realized Chris is like way behind us now by like 5 seconds.
I'm not sure if I would call 5 seconds way behind.
I think he's probably more than 5 seconds, honestly.
Yeah, maybe it was more than 5, but I mean, significantly behind us enough that the sequence where she opens the door and the scream comes out, it had happened, and we were like, wow, didn't get Chris. And then like a little while later, he actually screamed from it.
Unless he just reacted to Craig T. Nelson and his boss walking up the hill, but I doubt that was that was the reaction to that.
Zelda was everything that the remake was missing, Mike Kay says.
Yeah, I love Jared Harris, but I don't think he was the right
Casting
choice to. I didn't mind the switching the gender, but it just didn't work. I don't know.
Max told me that rope is very important.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't understand that.
Carol Ann. Oh, Matt, Chris is not talking because he's actually not paying attention to us because this is his first time seeing it. So he's actually trying to take the movie in and just react.
We're like, he can't hear us or anything, I don't think.
Yeah. He's being very, he's trying to give it its due, which I think is actually very good on his part, too. I appreciate a man trying to take in a classic.
Yeah, we can respect that.
Yeah.
God is in his holy temple. Earthly thoughts, be silent now.
The heavy breathing Chris is doing right now because you can tell he's getting nervous. That's the Brody shot right there a little bit. The zoom in on the face when they see something horrible or hear something horrible. It's also interesting that the score really has started to change, and now it's like more dangerous, it feels like.
Yep, it's so good.
Incredible.
Oh, the deep piano notes.
Yeah.
Bam, 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 bam.
Well, there's the explanation of why the rope again in the remake, but it's handled much more poorly, it would seem.
It was. It made me cackle.
God, the way she delivers her dialogue. Just so good. Yeah. You go, Zelda.
I am far more scared of my mom than my dad.
Yeah.
Far more. Love you, Mom, but
Kale said that one of the problems with the remake is that Rockwell looks high the whole time. The other is that DeWitt is looking is like doing circles around everyone. And it does feel cheap, he says. Yeah, Brandy, I love all their random artwork too. I think it's fantastic. It's a very American home. Can I help you? I need you to relax. Okay? Yes, please relax now.
I forgot she was in. I totally forgot she was in Picket Fences too.
Oh,
as
yeah.
a regular. That show's great.
all of the performance in this are so excellent.
I agree.
I think the parakeet at the end could have been better. I mean, at the beginning could have been a little better, but
Really,
that death wasn't very believable.
Oh, Kale says the Projection Booth podcast did a 5-hour podcast on the franchise, and it's great so far. I'll have to check it out.
Cool.
I think there's a lot to talk about with these movies, so that's really. I'm glad that someone's taking the time to do more than just a watch along like we're doing. Not that this is bad, but a deep dive into it is just so fascinating because I think there's a lot to take in and a lot to talk about.
So cool. They did this effect in the house, the haunted house.
Yeah.
It's so disorienting.
Oh, totally. It's
This
the
shot,
strobing and stuff. Ugh.
the way the camera pans and around her, and then the music swell is just remarkable.
Agreed. You guys, both Kale and Mike said that they saw the remake before the original, and they're embarrassed to admit it. Like, don't be embarrassed. I get it. You know, there's a lot of people who probably saw the Halloween remake before they saw the original or the Nightmare remake. You know, our generation tends to lean towards the one that if they haven't seen the originals, they go to the new ones first.
The only one I can think of that I saw the remake before the original is Texas Chainsaw.
That was for me definitely true.
Because I didn't really...
I mean, an easy one for me would be like The Thing, because I didn't see The Thing from Another World.
Oh yeah, that's
until
fair.
after The Thing.
I didn't really get into horror until my mid-teens because I used to be
I saw Texas Chainsaw Massacre at a very young age.
Yeah,
It was like one of my dad's favorite movies.
Neither of my parents like horror movies at all. One of my sisters is a huge horror fan, and she actually took me to see the Texas Chainsaw remake.
that's awesome. The Texas Chainsaw Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Maxwell.
I was just going to say, of all my siblings, Lisa is the most like me. She used to watch Doctor Who as a kid.
Yeah.
She's a huge Buffy fan. Like, a lot of my taste in pop culture comes from her.
That's awesome. I was going to say, too, Texas Chainsaw was the first time outside of Blair Witch where I thought the footage in the movie was, like, really real. It was very convincing the way that they pulled that off.
Speaking of Blair Witch, I still haven't seen the newest one.
Oh, the Adam Wingard one?
I didn't see it either.
I really liked it, but I also was in the audience.
I know.
Yeah, when we didn't know it was Blair Witch at Comic-Con, it was still the Woods, and I have the Woods poster still in my hallway. And it was like we just knew Adam Wingard had brought a film. We were kind of a test audience for it, and while you're watching it is when you realize, oh shit, this is a Blair Witch sequel. And that's when they announced it online too, and everyone got a trailer and stuff as we were watching the movie.
I remember being on Twitter when that happened.
Mm-hmm. I think we followed each other at that point.
We might have.
Yeah. I do like the Wingard one. I think that it's quite good, but I do understand the people who don't like it because it doesn't add a whole lot of new either. Like, it's just more of that first movie. The meat.
I don't know if it's meat. I think it's just like slime, spectral gunk.
I don't blame people who don't like Blair Witch, Brandy. I do think it's worth watching and like going back to, and I think that it's really one of the most important films of the 90s as far as horror goes, and obviously very important to horror in general for starting the found footage craze.
I think Blair Witch is still super scary.
Yeah, I agree.
Has Chris ever seen that one? That's one that would really get him too, for sure.
Yeah, that's one of the most atmospheric movies of all time, in my opinion.
What's he laughing at?
No, I'm afraid to ask what Chris would be laughing at as we watch a scary movie.
Maybe he is watching Adam's and Values.
That Joan Cusack. Oh, did you get that shirt today, PJ?
No, shoot. Thank you for reminding me.
Might be sold out.
Yeah, I'll go look.
I got a couple, but not the one I wanted. It sold out.
There was a footage scene in The Fourth Kind where I swear I had seen it before on a UFO show. That could have been that Fourth Kind movie.
I never saw The Fourth Kind, but I remember when
That movie pissed me off.
I remember the trailer. I was like, man, this movie looks scary. This movie looks
Yeah.
really scary, and then I never saw it.
The one with Mila Jovovich?
Yeah.
There was some scary stuff in it, but on the whole, it pissed me off.
I'm just seeing Texas Chainsaw Massacre for the first time because I never could get through it before. Texas Chainsaw to me is a brilliant, brilliant film, but it's one of the films that I can't revisit because it makes me feel so awful and dirty, and that's
PJ.
the best way to describe it.
Large?
Yeah,
You are large?
yeah.
They still got it.
Gracias. Thank you, my friend. I will order it. Yeah, I'm with you, Mike. The only Wingard film I don't like is
I'm a
Death Note.
huge fan of Your Next.
Yeah, and I love The Guest also, which I rewatched last night.
Oh, wait, he did The Guest?
Yeah.
Oh, then Your Next is not by him. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did Your Next.
Oh, he did both. Okay.
Yeah, he did both.
Wow, he's more talented than I even thought. Because he's
Yeah.
doing Godzilla vs. Kong.
hmm
Yeah.
I've heard some really cool stuff about that movie, and apparently he like kind of leaned on his horror background a little bit, which I'm excited about.
I was, who else am I
Here,
thinking?
this is going to get Chris. What do you think?
Yeah,
I
100%.
think maybe, hopefully.
That shot right there when it pans in and the zoom in on Zelda is so good.
He's not expecting it.
No, definitely not. If that doesn't get Chris, I don't know what will at this point.
Way behind us? What's
Or he's
that?
that much behind us. Yeah, there.
Oh, there.
Yeah, see, he's a good like 15 seconds behind us, maybe. I don't know.
That was good.
I was also thinking of Ty West because I think he's made some really good stuff.
Yeah.
I love The Innkeepers. Have you guys seen The Innkeepers?
Innkeepers.
I
is
haven't seen
fantastic.
Innkeepers.
It's really good. It's a real slow burn, but the way that like images of ghosts are very subtly hidden throughout, kind of like what they do with the haunting shows, is awesome.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Mike, to your point real quick too with the Death Note one, I'm a huge Death Note fan. I love the anime. I love the 2 Japanese films, including the spinoff about Light or L in his last days. Dude, the remake here did not understand the lore. It did not understand what Death Note should be. It turned it into Final Destination. And I think that it lost all the bite about what you would do with a Death Note and the moral implications of it all.
Frankly, it whitewashed it.
Hi, Daddy.
Yeah, well, they I don't want to necessarily call it whitewashing because it's like if we literally remake anything here, we usually make it an American-based version, which is not I'm not saying that's good or bad, but I mean, it's the same thing. Whenever we bring stuff here, we tend to do that. Like
Like The
Godzilla,
Departed.
yeah, or The Departed. I wouldn't call those whitewashed, and it's doing the same thing.
True enough.
But to your point, it could have easily has been a sequel in the same series, which could have taken some of that scrutiny off in a way that now you're playing in the same universe. It doesn't even have to be it could have been just the same new events based on a Death Note in America. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So that's all. Whatever it is. I think the Blair Witch franchise is just one that I can only appreciate and not love. It's just not for me. It's not for everyone, and that's totally fair. I know that found footage doesn't work for everyone. Although, if you've never seen the Rec series, I could not recommend them enough.
Yeah, Rec's good.
So you Rec?
Yes, I Rec.
I didn't even mind the remake of that.
Quarantine.
Yeah, Quarantine. The first Quarantine's good.
Was it
Rec is scarier, but it's
Jennifer Carpenter is the lead in that?
Yeah, from Dexter and what was the
Limitless.
Yeah, Limitless.
And White Chicks.
She's also in Brawl at
She's
Subway.
married to one of the Avett brothers.
I love the Avett Brothers.
The Avett brothers are great.
There was supposed to be an Avett Brother musical premiering at Berkeley this summer from the same team that did the Green Day musical, including starring Johnny Gallagher Jr., which has obviously been pushed to next summer. And I had been planning to go out there to see it, so I hope.
Agreed, Mike.
Kind of appropriate because the Avett brothers started as a punk band back in the day.
Yeah.
And then evolved into what they are now.
We have an American Akira. It is called Chronicle.
I was going to say.
Yeah.
Which is a really good found footage film, even though Lax Mandis can fuck himself with a rusty spoon. Sorry for being inappropriate, but he deserves it.
Have you guys seen the sci-fi horror film called The Hit and starred Kyle MacLachlan? It was directed by Jack Shoulder. I do not think I have. For me, Kyle is always going to be Dale Cooper. I'm a huge.
You mean Kyle MacLachlan?
Yeah, MacLachlan. Sorry,
MacLachlan. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not great at the name thing sometimes, but he's always going to be Dale Cooper to me. I fucking love Twin Peaks. Brandy says, I don't understand packing the books into the boxes outside. Why move the books outside first? That is a fantastic.
So everyone can see the beautiful boxes, clearly. Because they want to spend as little time in the house as possible?
Oh, yeah. Jennifer Carpenter is in Faster. I really like Faster. That's a really quite good movie.
I haven't seen that.
That was the one where he kind of came back for the first time but doing more serious type stuff.
Yeah, I remember hearing it was good, and for whatever reason, because I've seen almost everything he's been in. Because even though most of them are bad, I love him on screen.
Yeah, Billy Bob Thornton and Carla Gugino are both in it.
I love Carla. She starred in the Karen Sisko TV show, which
She was also in, and I bring it up all the time, she was in Spin City. She was in the first season early on. She was Michael J. Fox's girlfriend on it until ABC decided that they needed to be split up so Michael could date people throughout the city. And, they broke up the relationship, which is a bummer because her character was so great. But I thought they used it perfectly to let Michael act in a very open way that we hadn't seen the character do before, which I thought was really good.
Drop the P. She was also in Sin City.
Oh, yeah.
Is that show streaming anywhere?
No, unfortunately. There's music rights and stuff that kind of got it all tied up. Shout released a complete series box set. I don't know if it's still in print, and it comes with all 6 seasons, including the Charlie Sheen years. But the nice thing about Spin City is it wraps up in such a way at the end of season 4, because when Michael J. Fox signed on to it, this is one of my favorite shows of all time, by the way, guys. When Michael J. Fox signed on, he said, I'm only doing 100 episodes. He had already been diagnosed with Parkinson's at that point, so he knew that he only had so much time, and in that he thought that he could probably handle it. So they had a 4-season in and out, knowing that he was going to leave at the end. So the show was always structured in a way that they could wrap it up by the time he was leaving. And it felt like that show ended at like a perfect point for that character. So if you don't keep watching, it doesn't matter. And then it's also not disappointing that the whole vibe of the show changes when Charlie Sheen takes over.
Safe.
What was that?
That Chris thought he was safe.
Oh, yeah. Chris thinks he's safe again.
That clown could fuck itself.
Oh, Chris. Oh, so good.
We got to clip that out.
Yeah.
That and
So
why am I wet? Or I'm all wet now.
Yeah, I'm all wet now.
I also
hear
can.
a dog barking, and I think it's in the movie, but it's
Yeah,
probably
Gallifrey, come here.
Hey, Gallifrey.
Oh God, is something gonna happen?
Yes, something is gonna happen.
The film is not over. Still 16 minutes to go. It's a staple of horror movies. You think everything is resolved,
Wait, is
but
it already almost over? Damn.
Yeah.
there's-
I keep forgetting how it's
in the-
not a very long movie.
it's 2 hours.
It doesn't feel 2 hours, I guess.
Well, when you're watching a movie with friends and talking about it, it goes by quick. If
Yeah.
it's good.
Troop Beverly Hills. I forgot she was in Troop Beverly Hills. Good call, Steven.
Aren't they doing a remake of that now?
It's different.
Yeah.
It's an Amazon movie that's similar but different.
Mhm.
That's
With,
the one
uh,
with.
Music, come on, play!
Chris.
So quiet. He doesn't like it.
Viola Davis and Allison Janney.
Yeah. And then what is it? Jim Gaffigan in it too?
Maybe. What you know? What sitcom? Speaking of sitcoms, 'cause Spin City, I love from that similar era that I think is one of the greats that never gets talked about is News Radio.
Oh my
Oh, yeah.
God!
Wait, is he ahead of us now?
No, he's just because the clown's gone. The clown wasn't in the chair.
Oh yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Live.
Here we go. Chris is gonna.
Chris is not okay. Chris is not okay.
Here it
Here it
comes.
comes. Here
Yeah.
it comes.
He's waiting for it. Look, he's like confused.
Where's the reaction? Oh. Chris Clark, you never disappoint.
Chris Clark is the gift that keeps on giving.
I know.
It's gonna get worse.
It's gonna get worse, Chris. This is pretty jacked up, I'm not gonna lie.
It is pretty jacked. Oh man,
Yeah.
some Exorcist stuff.
Mike, now that the delayed reaction is so much funnier. Not wrong. Oh shoot.
Underwear.
Everyone's loving the delayed reactions to Chris right now. I think this is, again, we've talked about it a little bit. The collaboration between Spielberg and Hooper is just so fantastic in this movie, and you really do get the best of both worlds of what both of them really were as filmmakers.
Yeah.
And Spielberg still to this day. Unfortunately, Tobe has passed away, and his genius.
Yeah, Toby passed away just a couple years ago.
Yeah. Toby is he left us a lot of good though. Hard to be upset.
It's like one of my favorite parts of the movie too, right there. That creature.
Yeah.
And that shot on her.
And that creature was in the scare house, right?
Oh yeah, it was an incredible, huge
Yeah.
puppet
Yeah.
that you have to walk under.
Chris
Yeah, I've
is
never
gonna
seen
react to it, I think. Yeah, he's confused. He's waiting. We're waiting for Chris to see does he respond to the creature? I don't know how far behind he is. Maybe not. Maybe the creature didn't get him.
It's coming still, I think. Maybe not.
Maybe not. I think he's past it.
The coolest part of the scare house is how you entered was walking from inside the pool through the back of the house.
Oh, nice.
Ooh,
Ooh, it's my part. Pool
Yep.
skeleton.
that's
will
gonna
like
get him,
me.
I bet.
Yeah.
Wait, there you are, number 2.
Yep, that's me.
Hey Tim.
Tim, I loved your role in this.
I'll be signing
Oh,
autographs
that
later.
must have hurt.
What?
Where is he?
Oh fuck!
There he is. There's a couple of them.
there was a lot of talk of this set was cursed, and a lot of it they said came from this sequence because they used real bodies and real skeletons in this sequence. It's a fun Hollywood factoid for you.
Which is silly because it wasn't uncommon to use real skeletons because they were cheaper than having a practical effect created for a skeleton. So
he's 17 seconds behind us, roughly, by the way, according to Brandy. Thank you, Brandy, for keeping count. The zombies in the pool, yeah. The sound design in this movie is incredible, too.
Only move the headstones.
Yep.
It's coming up.
This is a great shot, too.
Yeah, the long hallway.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Great work. This movie is just so beautiful, man.
Got some
Everything
shining feel to it right there.
Yeah.
The music, oh my god.
Again, Jerry Goldsmith's score really is an unsung hero of this film. I think it does not get nearly enough love. Even though it won an Oscar or was nominated for an Oscar.
It was
nominated, yeah. The movie was nominated for 3 Oscars. Visual effects, this, and I think another, maybe editing.
Makeup, maybe?
Yeah, makeup and visual effects, and then score, I believe, is what they were.
Nice.
No, sound effects editing, not makeup.
That makes sense, actually, because I've commented a few times on the sound design. It is really great. They found a way to make everything sound and feel more dangerous. Every creature, every moment feels different than the ones before.
Apparently, that roar is the same as the MGM roar.
Yeah, that's what Matt was saying in the chat, too.
Use what you got.
Oh, it's such a great shot of the outside of the house with all the lights and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And his face is perfect coming back to it.
If I lived in that house every year for Halloween, I'd have strobe lights going off in those lights.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh gosh, man. The way that they ratchet up the tension is just so perfect. This is like the perfect 4th act movie, by the way, because I don't think all horror films get away with the 4th act reveals, but this movie earns it in the biggest and best way. There it is.
The cemetery. You only move the headstones.
That scream is just so intense.
The keys. Where are the keys?
Keys.
You only move the headstones. Come on, Steven, hurry.
The old body catapult.
I'm waiting to see if the body coming out of the garage will get Chris.
Holy shit.
That must have been the body. I don't think I'd last one night in a haunted house thanks to Poltergeist. I understand that, Matt. That makes a lot of sense. If I was in a haunted house like this, I wouldn't. The house I grew up in was pretty haunted, though. So,
My God.
yeah. This is so good, by the way. I love the way that it all breaks out, and it really is that Amblin thing of what happens to the neighborhood as these things happen. and the effects it has on them.
Ooh,
What a great shot.
he deserved it.
Yeah.
He only moved the headstones. And the house just collapses into itself.
Just implodes.
I think this is one of the greatest shots of all time in the implosion of it all. I've always thought it was so cool. Chris, deep breath.
I think I could last in a haunted house. I think Tim and I can make it.
You guys might be able to. I don't know if Chris
Depends.
would.
As long as I had snacks and chocolate milk.
Ooh, I do like snacks and chocolate milk.
Right?
Actually, mine would be strawberry milk, though, however.
Ugh.
Why do you always do that to me?
A house maybe, but I don't think I could make it in like a haunted like sanitarium or like mental hospital.
Or like, oh, yeah.
The hospitals and sanatoriums always creep me out more than a house. For
Or a
whatever
prison.
Yeah.
I like vampires. I don't know where that came from.
Was it your if you were three vampires, describe you thing? Is that where it came
I mean,
from?
one of the things you have to know about me, and I think people who know me really well know this, is like at least 1/3 of my day is spent thinking about vampires.
Sure. And that's not an exaggeration.
No, it's really not.
It's really not. Similarly, I think about werewolves, so I understand.
Cool. Yeah. I love this. This is great.
Yeah, what a great way for it to
Awesome.
kind of bring everything wrapped out. Get rid
Just
of
that
that.
look you get.
The brain kids.
And you know what? It's so funny because that's also clearly being like TV is bad for you.
Go to the cinema instead.
Yeah. Put it outside.
Ugh.
What? Come on. Come on now. Strawberry milk is not that bad.
It tastes like chalk.
I like strawberry milk.
Yeah, thank you, Tim. It's interesting to me that as it's ending, the first thing it says is a Steven Spielberg production.
Oh, look at that. Associate producer.
Yeah, Kathleen Kennedy, who currently runs the Star Wars franchise. La, 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 la. I always love this version of the theme. It's so good.
It's creepy.
It's unnerving because you're ending the movie with the sound of little kids, and that's a little scary. I love the credits, by the way, too. They're different than the ones that you normally see. They're not straight down. That the diagonalist is kind of cool.
Yeah. Also, the names of the roles weren't there. It was just the actor.
Yeah.
Well, that
Even
was
that's
Poltergeist.
Oh wow.
So, Chris, what'd you think of Poltergeist?
Fascinating. I loved it. It was really good. I think I was like, oh, this isn't too bad, and then the fourth act happened. The third act happened.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, there was not too many. And bop, there was a dead body. I also apologize. I was like about a little behind you guys. Sorry about that.
No,
No, we
worked out.
actually prefer that.
You were
okay.
ahead. I think you were ahead of us at one point. Did you pause at some point? Or no?
It buffered. It buffered.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
No,
I
it
guess
worked
that's
out.
what- I didn't even realize I was ahead.
Yeah, but you know you were ahead, and
I
then
think it's best if you're behind a little bit.
Okay,
Yeah.
next time I'll start 20 seconds after you guys.
Yeah, because the chat was like really into watching your reactions after the things happened.
Okay.
what scare do you think got you the best?
The clown.
The clown under the bed, probably. I think.
The
on top
clown.
of the bed.
There was the clown, and then there was the skull that came out of the door, and then there was the dead body in the.
I think your biggest reaction though was like the lightning crack in the very early. You
The,
fell
yeah,
out
yeah,
in your chair.
the lightning, and I spilled my water on my bed.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Because you
You
said
said,
I got
I'm all wet. I'm all
Yeah.
wet now.
It
Oh,
was
you guys
awkward.
heard that? You guys
Yeah.
heard that?
We can
Oh,
hear
yeah.
you.
Oh,
We can
And it
hear
was-
you.
When
That
you
was-
said it, it was the
Yeah.
weirdest scene that you
But-
could have possibly said it into.
Oh no! What did I say it doing?
They were like when we
You're
were
like
watching,
in bed.
they were like canoodling in bed.
Oh!
And you literally, and then right out loud as it was happening, you were like, "I'm wet."
I mean,
I am so
it's
sorry,
okay
but it
to
was
have that
good.
reaction to Craig T. Nelson.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, Tim, I know you've seen this many times. What do you think this time around?
It's great. I mean, I love this movie. I think it holds up. It's still very eerie and creepy and just a beautiful movie.
Yeah.
A blending of two styles come together to make a really good product.
Yeah, I agree. What about you, Peach?
I still contend to this day that this is one of the greatest horror films of all time because I think that it's just such a perfect blend of what you want a really great horror film to be. You care about the characters, you care about what's happening to them, but it really is scary. Like, it doesn't hold back even for being a family film, and it really does kind of go for the throat in we're going to push it to the limit. We're going to scare you as much as possible. Again, to what I was saying earlier, I think this is one of the great fourth act reveals.
Mhm.
Not every horror film earns the fourth act reveal, but this one 100% does to me. I contend it's maybe one of the best in cinema history, just because you get that moment again, like outside of they're here, you know, that whole sequence with Craig T. Nelson screaming about the graves is, in my opinion, one of the great reactions in horror.
Yeah.
And what a fantastic reveal it is. So this movie there's a reason we're still talking about it. There's a reason that even all these years later, they're still trying to figure out how to make it work again.
There's a reason we have t-shirts.
Yep. This movie series is fantastic from top to bottom to me. I just love it so much. And there's a reason that I still love it. It like had a very, very big impact on me at a very young age. These Amblin films were one of the things that spoke to me for the longest. So I'm glad that it brought two geniuses together and was birthed onto the screen.
Yeah, I have no hesitation saying I think it's one of the best horror movies. But I really think the element that takes it to that upper echelon level is Zelda Rubinstein.
Yes.
Her presence, her line delivery is just fantastic. And she has a lot of exposition. And when you're doing that, you need someone compelling, and she is so compelling. And I also like how it explains what's going on just enough. Like, you realize it was built on a graveyard, and that's all you need to know to explain, and you don't need to go any deeper, which the second one kind of does.
A lot of does.
Yeah. Which I think is one of the major flaws of a lot of sequels or prequels, over-explaining things that were perfectly understandable the first time, and the fact that there was some mystery surrounding it made it more interesting. But that's okay.
Hannibal Rising, I'm looking at you.
Matt Whiteher says, next weekend I'm planning to see a film in theaters. I might see Hocus Pocus or The Nightmare Before Christmas. That sounds fun. Just be safe. Wear your mask. We love all you. We want everyone to stay safe and healthy. Yep,
absolutely.
Yeah.
No doubt in my mind. If you're going to go, please be careful.
Yeah.
Support it because Regal is closed. Hopefully that things can, like
Yeah.
in the movie theater business. So
I think AMC is going to stay open.
yeah, they have 6 months of liquidity, so I mean they have to.
I think they'll make it work somehow.
Yeah.
Because I think there's, all the blockbusters have moved out of this year, but I think there's going to be independent films and some other stuff that's opening. Like Freaky, I think is still going to open, and some other things.
Yeah.
Well, that was Poltergeist. I hope you all enjoyed it in the chat. You're certainly very active and vocal, and we really appreciate that. It makes it extra fun to bounce off what you guys are saying. Let's go through real quick just some of the other stuff we have going on. As we've been saying, we have a brand new show debuting this Sunday Evening Unwind, the show about whatever. It'll be at our normal time, 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern. I wish I could tell you what we were going to talk about, but who knows? But it'll be really chill, really fun. Just going to hang out and hope you guys like that, to have something not so structured where we could just, shoot the shit a little bit. And then Monday, spooky season continues with a less scary film, but an incredibly fun, whimsical, inventive Tim Burton's Beetlegeist or Beetlejuice, depending on how you want to say it. Don't say it 3 times, though. That would be bad for everybody. Next Wednesday is Tangled Suddenly Soundtrack. Yes, with Jen Kemp and Jillian from A Certain Point of View. And that's going to be fantastic. I think Tangled is incredible. I think it's hugely underappreciated. I think it's better than Frozen. I said what I said.
Ooh.
I cannot wait for Freaky either. I think it looks fantastic.
Yeah, I think Freaky looks great. I'm so excited. And then due to technical issues, With last night's stream, Shock Treatment is going to air the Wednesday the 22nd. Is that right?
That Wednesday the 21st, and Cabaret is going to be the 22nd, the Thursday.
Okay, so Shock Treatment will be Wednesday the 21st. That's with Bibiani, Video Drew, and Mark Hoyk. Yep. I nailed it that time.
You did.
And then Cabaret will be Thursday the 22nd. This was a very, very special request from our gold tier producer, Brandy Parker. I'm going to be on it. My wife's going to be on it, Chris Clark and Whitney Seibold. Hopefully you enjoyed, Brandy and everyone. I think it's going to be awesome. And then for our next Scary Movie Squad watch along, we are not doing it next Friday because of the Schmodown pay-per-view event. We're going to do it next Saturday. And that is a double feature of Conjuring and The Conjuring 2. And I think we'll probably start a little earlier than normal. As we get closer, we'll be sure to post the time in the Discord and on Twitter and in the Facebook groups. Which reminds me, if you want to be in the Discord, check out the Patreon. We have levels for everyone: $2, $5, $10, $25, $50. Do I hear $3? Do I hear $4? Do I hear $5? This is not an auction. This is a Patreon. It supports everything we do. And in return, there's incredible perks and stuff for you guys to enjoy. And, of course, our eternal thanks to those who are already patrons.
And I'll say this, too. We may have revealed some of the movies we'll be doing at Christmas time already in the Discord. So if you're on that Discord, there's been teases of what we have coming up. We've made some announcements. There's some other stuff, too. Like, the Discord's cool if you want to get some extra information about what's going on. You get a little bit of extra access to us, and that's kind of fun, too. Tim, I'm waiting for you to accept my friend request on the Discord so I can actually put you into the Discord. And
he left.
Oh, goodness.
And real quick, we do have a Streamlabs from Michael K. The great Michael K., who said, "There's a reason Poltergeist is still regarded as a classic. The melding of Spielberg and Hooper's filmmaking aesthetics combined with incredible production and sound design and Jerry Goldsmith's hauntingly beautiful score created something special." Absolutely. It is absolutely special.
Thank you, Michael. We also teased this at the beginning of the show. We teased it in the Discord. So again, if you're in the Discord, you find out stuff early. Box 2, it's been filmed. It exists. I put stuff in my mouth, which seems to be a trend of Box. We have a very special guest. If you can figure out who that is in the silhouette, awesome. We'll be revealing that soon. I think it's going to be as good, if not better, than the first one.
Can't wait for you guys to see it.
It is spooky themed, so there's that. Finally, we're on TeePublic. Get our shirts, mugs, hats, like this beautiful Watchalong cup we have right here. They make really great stuff, and of course, all the logos and design by Chris Clark are incredible. Chris,
I'm gonna real quick before we do that. I think that because we teased a little bit of the Merry Movie Squad in the Discord, I think we owe it to anyone who's not in the Discord yet to give you guys at least a look at one of the movies that we might be doing. Maybe no, we are doing it, and it's going to be a great double feature of Trading Spaces and Coming to America. That is one of the many offerings that we are going to be offering during the Merry Movie Squad season.
PJ, might there be a special guest for that?
There may be a special guest for that. I would say that if you are a fan of eating baby vegetables known as carrots, you might be very excited about that double feature. I don't know how many people like baby carrots out there, but there's something to be said about that. And then who doesn't like some baby carrots? One other one that I want to draw your attention to, because this was also asked about very recently, so I think that I can pull it up real quick. Sorry, it's loading a little. There we go. This will be on New Year's Eve. We're going to be doing a double feature on New Year's Day, I should say, of Home Alone 1 and 2. That is going to be what closes out the entirety of Merry Movie Squad, and I am super excited. These are two of my favorite films of all time. I can quote them front and back, and I just love them so much. Maxwell and I, the last time we were in New York together around Christmas time, or I guess not the last time, the time before it, but I got to see some of it and live it in a way I'd never gotten to, so it was very cool.
I'm one of the people who think Home Alone 2 is better than
just for me.
Yep.
Yeah. We have so much planned for November and December. I cannot wait to make the graphic to show you guys out the whole layout, because we have it booked. We have it completely booked. It's going to be great.
I know I've said this before. This channel really started out of the COVID quarantine as a way for us to have something to do. And whatever happens with that, we intend to keep this going for many years to come, I think. And your support has been just like true vindication that this has all been worthwhile.
Can I say too? Yeah, and I'll say, like, we love you guys so much that we're working on something really, really incredibly special, I think, for New Year's Eve as well. That's like very aimed at everyone who's been watching this channel until now, and I can't wait to announce it. Like, we do thank you guys.
And the other thing I'll say, just as a little tease about the New Year special, is there's going to be an element of it that is a tease for some of what we are planning for the channel for next year. We're going to be expanding in some really exciting ways.
And a very, very special guest on it as well. So I can't wait to,
yes.
There's somebody big on it too, so it's going to be great. So
it's going to be
There's all sorts of stuff, you guys. I'm really like, it's going to be fun, and we've been working on it for a while. There's going to be things that you've loved from the channel thus far. So, that's kind of a cool tease, is that there's going to be elements of what you love, maybe watch along type stuff. I who's to say, maybe Family Game Night might make a return. We don't know, but like, I'm happy with what we're doing.
Yeah, it's going to be spectacular. That being said, Chris, where can the kiddos find you online?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at ChrisClark78, Chris Clark 8788. Those numbers mean nothing. And those numbers mean nothing. No.
Tim, how about you? Where can they find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at tfranco84.
Very nice. PJ?
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at PJ_Campbell. You can also find me at the Movie Trivia Schmodown, where I write the questions, and I'm human. So be nice. That's all I ask.
You can find me on Twitter at Cinemaxwell, Instagram at Cinemaxwell Inc., and you can find me and all of us on the PJ Campbell Network. Thank you for tuning in tonight. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you Sunday for a hangout of epic proportions.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Bada bing, bada boom.